Hi guys, it's Vanessa from To The Brim, and today I'm going to walk you through centering clay. Now when you start pottery, this is the most intimidating part of learning. So you put your clay in the center of your bat, wet your hands, and then you're going to put your elbows at about 5 and 7 o'clock on your wheel and brace your arms. And then you're going to make prayer hands. So your hands are wet, the clay is wet, and you're going to start pushing your hands together. The palms of your hands are going to push against that clay, and it's not going to have anywhere to go but up. And while you're doing this, you can feel the clay wiggle in your hands, as you can see here. But as you're doing this, you're taking the little lumps and bumps and lopsided pieces, and you're making them form into that column of clay. So even at this stage, you're taking some of the wiggle out of your clay and helping to center it. You got to make sure that your hands, when they start to feel a little bit sticky, you're going to add a little bit more water just so that everything is lubricated and everything is slippery. Now, once you have that column of clay up in the air, this is called coning up. So once you've coned up your clay, you've already got some of that wiggle out. You're going to brace your left arm on the wheel and make a 90-degree angle with your elbow. You're going to lock that arm into place. I do that at about 9 o'clock on my wheel. The other hand, the elbow is at about 5 o'clock. And I'm going to push down. So you can see my arms are kind of at a 90-degree angle from each other. So you're going to push down with your right hand and you're going to brace with your left. So you're pushing that column down, but your left hand is keeping it in check. So you're the boss of the clay. When you start pottery, sometimes it feels like the clay is boss and you're just kind of at its mercy, but you got to turn the tables and you got to take control. You should usually cone up and down a couple times to make sure that your clay is wet, the air bubbles are out, and that it's centered properly before you open it up. So this is what I'm doing again. I'm just going through that same process with the prayer hands. At 5 and 7, made my cone, and now I'm locking my arm at 9 o'clock and at 5 o'clock, and I'm pushing down, and you can see that little bit of a wiggle. My left hand is bracing, so as I push that cone down, you can kind of see the wiggle come out of it. And once you think that you have your clay centered, you can put your hand over it like that, and if there's a little bit of a wiggle, you just kind of finagle it a little bit, work it, push it into that left hand, and try to get it centered. And then at the end, I'm going to put my hand over it again. My fingers are not wiggling, so my clay is centered. That's all there is to it. It takes a lot of practice, but there you go. Thank you for watching my video, and look for part 2 where I show you how to open up the clay and bring up the walls. Don't forget to subscribe.